Hey guys, Bona here. After I created my Reddit United 2 movie, some people asked me how I made the so-called transition and masking effects that you saw here before in this clip. And I'm gonna try to show them right here. Rather than just writing it down, I'm gonna try making some kind of tutorial for you guys. Bear in mind that it's my first tutorial and I know that my mic quality is pretty crap, but I still think that I can show you about how it's done. So, as you can see, we're in Vegas, and this is a pretty fresh project. I've only got 2 different clips and a music track right here below. To make the transition effect, I basically want this clip to not just switch to this one. I want this clip to start flashing and then come in. So I'm gonna start off by pressing Ctrl-Shift-Q to create a new video track. I'm gonna switch the compositing mode from source alpha to add. This means that when I drag this clip up above the other clip, it's gonna add itself onto the clip below rather than just replacing it as it would with source alpha. And then I'm simply gonna do as I just did. I'm gonna drag this clip up. I'm gonna drag it over the other clip. These orange markers are just some markers that I made myself to know where I want to sync with the music. I'm gonna use them to create this effect. And then I'm gonna start by pressing S to splitting the clip at every marker I've made. And after you've done the last flash you want to have, you just drag this clip down below to the source alpha track. And I like to make the last flash to be above the clip the clip that's gonna follow. So I'm just gonna drag this back here. Be sure that it's on the same frame both below and above. And then I'm gonna just control click all my clips on the add track and fade them out. Let's see how it looks. So it already looks pretty cool. You can just leave it like this if you want to, but I like to actually put on some blur. So I'm gonna go for some Gaussian blur right here. I'm gonna control click to select all of these clips. I'm gonna put on some light blur. And let's pre-render it. So that's basically it for the transition effect. You don't really have to even put on some blur if you don't want to. It look really pretty good even though you don't. I like to put on some blur. I also like to put on some color correction from time to time. You can just play around with it and see what fits you the best. Another cool thing you can do when playing around with added tracks is to create some, what should I say, some overlay effects. I'm gonna show you right here. I want some blinking lights to come in here, and I'm gonna use a cam path to create them. I'm just gonna drag out a random cam path right here. As you can see, it's just a camera spinning around. I want it to be a bit faster because I think it looks better if I do it that way. So I control dragged it to remove the slow motion. Like that. And I'm gonna cut this out by pressing Ctrl X. And let's just do it here. And then I'm gonna do basically the same thing. I'm gonna press S to split the clip. I'm gonna control click them and fade them out. And I'm actually gonna put on some blur right here as well. Since this is just a kind of overlay effect, I like to go with medium blur instead, because I don't really want the clip above to show what's going on. And now let's go for some color correction as well. Let's go with some random thing. Let's see how it looks. I created this effect by simply using a camera path and some blur and color correction, and you will get a different result every time you use a different camera path, because they don't look the same, so they won't turn out the same when you put on the effects. So that looks pretty cool in my opinion. That's it for the transition effect. Next I'm gonna show the masking effect. So for the masking effect, I'm gonna light up first the bottom of part of the screen, and then the top part, and then the sides. And this is pretty much the same concept as the transition effect. I'm gonna press S where I want the effect to begin, to split the clip. Control C to copy it. Control V to paste it. And I'm gonna press S again where I want the effect to end. This will turn out pretty bad because there's a flash coming in right at the end of the effect, but I'm gonna do it anyway here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna split the clips where I have my markers. And I'm gonna go into the event pan crop settings, go down to masking, and I'm gonna create a mask for the bottom part of the screen now. I like to use the rectangle or the circle creation tool, but you can use whatever you like. So I'm just gonna make a small mask down at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, it doesn't really look good right now, but this is where the magic comes in. You go to feather type, you go to out, and you set it somewhere between, I don't know, 25 and 50%. I like to go with 50 for this type of effect. As you can see now, you can't see any sharp edges or anything. And then I'm gonna go into the next one. I'm gonna do the same here, except I do it in the top instead of the bottom part of the screen. The feather type out, 50%. And then for the last one, I want both the sides to light up. I'm gonna go into masking here. I'm gonna create two different masks. I'm gonna create one on the left, go with feather out. Actually, I'm just gonna go with 25 or something here, because I don't want the whole screen to light up when I make it, create the effect on the other side as well. And then I create another mask here. Feather type out, 25%. Then I'm just gonna fade them out and see how it looks. They're probably a little bit too fast for this music and also for this clip, but at least you can get the point how to create it. I'm gonna show you how it looks with some radial blur. Actually, sorry, some linear blur. For the bottom and the top parts of the screen, I want some vertical light. And for the sides I want horizontal instead, since the light goes out from the sides, from the left and right, it goes horizontally. There. And actually let's put on some kind of color correction at the same time. Let's go with some red mid-tones right here. Let's see now. So, it didn't look that well on this clip, but I'm sure if you play around with it you will make it look pretty decent. And just like with the transition effect, you can play around with it a lot to make it look better. For example, now I could right here, just go out here. Right here I could just move my marker here, or my timeline, and I want the masks to go towards it, the light to go towards each other. So I'm just gonna drag the mask out here to the middle and do the same here. So now the mask is gonna move towards the middle when the clip starts. So this is something you can play around with. You can add different kind of effects to it and anything basically, which is pretty good since you can get so many different results by doing it. So this is basically it for this tutorial. I hope that even though my mic quality is bad and it's my first tutorial, I was able to teach you something that you didn't know. And if you have any questions or anything regarding anything really, feel free to drop a comment. And thank you for watching.